it's Laura, and I am back to show you how to make some DIY embellishments using your fuse tool, page protector, and some sequins. Just very basic stuff. I'm using the We Are Memory Keepers fuse tool and the mat that they put out with it. If you don't have one of these mats, any kind of a metal surface or heat resistant surface should do the job. One of the things I do like about the mat is the lines, helps me line things up a little bit better and keep it straight. A couple of the things we're going to be making today are the tag, a little shaker tag, and some shapes. So just some small shapes you can incorporate into your layout or card or project very easily. So let's get started. Now the easiest one to do is of course a square, because straight lines are much easier. We're going to extend that a little farther and use a metal ruler. This came with my fuse tool, but if you just have a regular metal ruler, that will do the job as well. And I'm just going to use my metal ruler to help me keep this straight, as well as the lines on my mat. And to start with, we're going to go, I'm just going to make it 4 squares long, 2.5 squares wide. That looks good. So 4 squares down. Bring my ruler over here, line it up with the purple lines, go 2.5 squares across, and just to help me keep this straight, I'm going to move this over to that line so that my next mark will be straight. Even though I have my metal ruler, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be keeping it straight. It'll be a straight line, it just won't necessarily be straight up and down or parallel to my other line. So we're gonna just roll on up. Oops, that's okay. We're gonna cut that off anyway. There we go. My goodness, that was not straight. There we go. Little tip, and I just showed you, it just illustrated a problem a lot of people have with the fuse tool. Holding the fuse tool, you need to hold it like a pencil and just keep the bottom down. You want to keep it nice and flat. When you start letting the fuse tool tell you where to go, it's going to wobble. But if you can try to keep it lined up with your ruler and holding it like a pencil, you have the most control and it can make a straighter line. So now that I've got 3 sides, I don't want to do all 4 sides yet, because then I can't have an opening to put sequins in. I've done that several times, let me tell you. Made the entire shape and then went, oh wait. We are going to leave just a very little amount on the outside of the line here. There we go. And cut that down, leave a little bit extra on the top because we're going to make our tag shape. Alrighty. So now we're going to grab some sequins. I've got some My Happy Heart by Spiegel Mom Scraps. And I'm just going to go ahead and dump some in here. The larger the shape that you make, the bulkier stuff you can put inside. So this is a pretty large shape. I can get away with putting some wood veneer pieces inside as well. But if you're using a smaller shape, then I would probably stick to the sequins. Now this sequin's almost used up, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to finish it off. All right. I've got plenty of sequins and a couple of wood veneer in there. You could certainly add more if you would like. Then I am going to do something to make sure these sequins do not escape. I'm going to come across right here at the top and close the bag first. Then we'll make our tag shape. So I'm going to close the bag first. And then I'm going to make my tag shape. And I'm going to make the line at the top and then the sides. That way, when I punch a hole in the top to add in some trim like ribbon or twine, making it a true tag, the sequins will not escape out of that hole. So here we go. Trim that down. Pull out my hole punch. Okay. Now we have a proper tag shaker. And I can add some twine. I can tuck this in next to a photo. I can add this in next to a block of pattern paper, and it just looks really, really cool. Because you can see through it, you'll still be able to see the background. So now doing shapes, you have a couple of options. Some of my favorite ways to make shapes are to either stick to your simple shapes like squares and rectangles, or you can use a metal die as your guide. Just be aware that the curved shapes do require a little bit more control of your fuse tool. You can also punch a shape and use that as a guide. This is just thick cardstock, and I'm going to use it to make a hexagon shape. There we go. So I don't need this guide at the moment. I'm just going to hold it in place, follow the line of the shape, and just very quickly make my hexagon. Go. I'm going to leave two sides open so I can fill it. And I don't want to overfill this because it's a smaller shape. It will not require as many sequins and really can't handle a lot of dimensional things like wood veneer. So this is one I would say skip the wood veneer, just add some sequins. I'm going to use these hexaglam sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps and fill in my hexagon. Doesn't take a whole lot. And I'm going to bring my shape back, put it into place, and seal the shaker. Alrighty. Just trim off the excess right there at the edge. And you have yourself a little shaker hexagon. Now, I will have some inspirational ideas for using this on my Instagram, so go check that out and you can see how to use this on a layout and a card. Thanks so much for joining me. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I hope you too can make yourself some DIY embellishments, break out that fuse tool, and use your sequins. Thanks so much for joining me. And don't forget to check out Miranda and our guest designer Audrey Yeager's videos for Scrap Madness Day 3. Until next time, bye!